Today is October 1st, and normally this is where I would be posting and sharing my progression and the goals for the upcoming month. But this morning my dad texted me and said, "Do not forget your Nana." First, Dad, I will never forget my Nana. Do not worry about that. And second thing, this caused me to have almost like a self-realization. You see, from September 11 all the way to like October 11 is a very up and down time for my family. It's filled with a lot of emotions. It's basically an emotional roller coaster. And I think today is a good day to talk about all that. I think the best place to start is actually on September 11. You see, for the entire United States, it has its own meaning. I mean, to this day, I remember where I was on that day, but even more than that, September 11 has its own meaning for my family. You see, on that day, that's actually my Lola's birthday, aka my grandma. So obviously, it's a day to celebrate. And on top of that, on September 11 is actually the day we almost lost my father. Fast forward a little bit, and we have another occasion to celebrate that I can't talk to you guys about just yet. Then we have October 1st. October 1st is the day my Nana passed away. She passed of natural causes, but doesn't change the fact that it still sucks. It hurts. You see, my Nana, depending on who you ask, has a lot of mixed reviews. If you ask me, I think she was amazing. She was very strong-willed woman. And I guess you have to be that strong. You have to be that stern when you're raising 11 kids. Never mind kids. My 11 aunts and uncles on your own in the projects of South Boston. She was also very sweet. I think of one story about how she would come down almost every Christmas and spend like a month with my brother, my sister, and I. And when she would do this, she was actually in charge of like hiding the Christmas presents. Now, whenever my parents would leave the house, my brother and I would just like jump up and start like scouring all over the place, like looking under beds, looking under pillows, looking under everything, around everything that we could think of to find our gifts. Somehow Nana would always outsmart us. I guess she had a lot of practice. She got 11 kids growing up. But as we got closer to Christmas Day, she would always whisper to us after my parents would leave, do you guys want to open up one of your gifts? She would pull out one of the gifts at random, hand it to us. We would open them on the spot. And before my parents even come home, she would rewrap them so no one would know otherwise. I'll always remember that story specifically. Now, September 2nd is actually the day my grandfather was killed in a car accident. My grandfather from my mother's side, which means Lolo, was involved in an accident October 2nd after picking up kolaches for his wife, my grandma, and paying the tuition of a kid he's never met, a kid none of us have ever heard of in the Philippines. It's nuts to think about how such a horrible thing can happen to such a sweet person. See, I love my grandfather. My grandfather was my hero. everyone's hero's their dad, and my hero's my dad too, don't get me wrong, but my grandfather was like a superhuman. Growing up, would hear all these stories about him, about all the accomplishments he had, all the accolades, how he was in World War II, how he was a survivor of the Death March of Bataan. I mean, think about that. Like, if you survive any march that starts off as Death March of, that's pretty intense. Take that, add the fact that he was a lawyer, he was a successful businessman, he sent 8 kids of his to one of the best schools in all of the Philippines. And it's really inspiring. It's really something to look up to. And I like sit back today and I think about how he would pick my brother and myself up from school almost every single day while my parents were working. And me, my cousins, all of us would end up sleeping over, and I would wake up in the middle of the night, like I'm talking about like 6 o'clock in the morning, and you see this older man just working out and pushing himself so that he could be better. And it reflects because after his second heart attack, the day after he got released from the hospital, he's mowing his own yard. This is the kind of man that I was looking up to. This was my grandfather, and obviously part of the reason why he's my hero. I looked up so much to this guy that I actually really wanted him to be my best man. I mean, I have such a large family, such an extended family. I'm so close to my brother, my cousins, all my friends, that it only seemed right to have one of my heroes as my best man. And then you have like September 6th, which is my aunt's birthday on my mom's side, my aunt's birthday on my dad's side, and it's my sister's birthday, who is a strong-willed, stubborn, smart, passionate, talented individual. And I'm so fortunate to have her as my sister. She's so supportive, she's so amazing. I mean, think about all these dates, think about all these things that are going on, and you can see why it's such a hard and amazing time for my family. So instead of setting goals today, instead of pushing past comfort and striving to be better, I think it's a great idea to take a step back. Today I'm challenging you to take a step back and really reflect. Instead of making a time about progression, make it a time about remembrance. And I would love for you just to think about somebody you care about, think about someone who's meant a lot to you in your life, and whether they're here or gone, it doesn't matter. Like, celebrate them, celebrate their memory. And in the comments below, let me know what you learned from them. I bet it's amazing. Y'all, hit that like button if you like what we're doing. Subscribe if you like what we're doing, because here we're all about chasing our dreams and finding our happiness. Stay positive and don't forget to do amazing things.